Hello, this is Alan.
Glenn Johnson.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, we have Allie here.
Ron Stevenson, South Carolina.
Honeybee, Arizona.
All right, folks, thank you so much for being here on tonight's call. I really appreciate it. My name is Carlos. I'm calling in from sunny San Diego. I want to appreciate all of you for being on the call tonight. I know there's a lot of other places you could choose to be tonight, and I want to thank you because I really believe, honestly, that this is the best place that you could spend your time and energy. And I have really incredible results to tell you about. A lot of fantastic people joining the team every day. It just seems like the community is getting larger and larger all the time. And for that very reason, I believe this will be around for the long term, and that we will have a great run here, tremendous success. So before I go any further with my own personal story, what I'd like to do is try and ask everybody to mute up their own port unless you have something that you want to say, which in that case, don't mute up your port. And then let's hear from everybody so that we have a chance to find out who's on the call tonight and who's excited about being part of this opportunity. We have selected to do more of a member call tonight than a prospect call. And the reason for that is last week we had 72 people call in all at once, and it became just a little bit crazy. And that caused us to actually have a mixed up call with, fallouts and drop-offs and all that other stuff. So too many people on the call can sometimes be a problem. So what we did was we backed it off a little bit just to try and get to know each other and find out how we're all going to work together. It's all about, teamwork, partnership, and teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more, TEAM. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up the call. And if you'd like to share, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and let's find out who's on the call here tonight. And then we can go from there and sort of like guide the people who are on the call as to how much information they want, what kind of information they want, and what we can provide in terms of service to them. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and open up the port and stand by. If you're not going to share at all and you have some background noise, do us all a favor. Hit the mute button on your smartphone. That way we won't have to hear any, dishes or dogs barking in the background or neighbors fighting or any of that other fun stuff. Okay? Really appreciate it. And here we go. I'm going to hit unmute here, and we can go ahead and open up the call and share a little bit. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Carlos, this is Alan from Colorado.
Alan from Colorado, good to have you on the call. Alan, before you go too much further, I want to introduce you to the group here. Alan got started, I'm going to say, about a week ago. Took him a little while to take a look at it, make your mind up and everything else. Alan, tell us what brought you into this opportunity. What were the high points? What were the things that sort of stood out to you as like, this is what I'm interested in doing? Would you share?
Yeah, sure. Yourself? Could you hear me right? Okay. You're persistent. Carlos, he kept on calling me. You introduced me to a couple players on the team and all that. I'm just like, all right, this is for real. Let's go take a ride. Let's give it a whirl. And it's simple as that.
All right. Fantastic. Okay, and I know that at one point, you went on a weekend camping trip, and you basically told me, hey, hit me up on Monday. If everything goes as planned, we'll get started on Monday. So sometimes, if I learned anything from this sort of activity, it's you just have to stay in touch with people, build a relationship with people, get to a point where everybody trusts each other, we're ready to do business together. This is not really a business, it's a private activity, but what I mean is that we're ready to treat each other like professionals back and forth. So who else do we have out there that'd like to share? Thank you, Alan, for that from Colorado. Who else do we have out there that'd like to share?
This is Glenn Johnson from Rockford, Illinois.
Okay, go ahead, Greg. I heard Greg from Illinois. Go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what brought you into the activity, and what you see for yourself here in the opportunity.
Okay, Glenn, the one thing that brought me in was the $2,000 a sale that I could make. That was a no-brainer for me, actually. And
So you like the price point? You like the $2,000 price point? Nice and clean, nice and simple.
Exactly. Yeah, that was one of the things that really attracted me. Was making $2,000 a sale. I mean, that was pretty good, and also the fact that sometimes even without even sponsoring somebody, you could make money. So both of those was one of the things that sort of attracted me.
Okay, fantastic. Really good points there, Greg. Thank you for bringing that up. I want to reiterate exactly what Greg is talking about here, and that is that we have an actual 2x3 matrix which works incredibly well in moving people along and through the information process and through the board so that you can move up from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior. And one of the people that has done that very successfully here in a pretty short period of time is Allie. Allie, are you on the line here from Jacksonville?
Hey, Carlos, I am here. Thanks for
Allie, go ahead and share a little bit if you would. Just tell us what you saw here in the opportunity, what made you jump in, and how excited you are about being a senior on the board already.
Well, yeah, I jumped in, I want to say, probably earlier in the week or it's just approaching a week. I came across the opportunity, I want to say, via text, and then you contacted me, you followed up with me, and we spoke. And I was looking for something to supplement my income. And I did some due diligence on this and spoke to Carlos and just established a really good relationship with him. I really like how it's focused on not just my success, but the team aspect as well. I'm very big on bringing in people and showing them like, hey, there's real opportunities out there. So, it took me a few days to jump in. I did it, and man, it's all about timing. And I went from freshman to senior in a few days, and that's what just doing the bare minimum. So I'm ready to rock and roll and just really get people on board and start showing people this opportunity. So I'm excited.
All right, fantastic. And one of the things I want to emphasize about where Allie's coming from is that we use systems that are already up online and through the internet and through the telephone system so that you don't have to actually bring people to a live call. You actually have calls that are available and working for you 24/7. So one of the key things to this whole thing is getting a website, getting a hotline, being able to blast those messages out. We've got text blasting services available. We've got voice blasting services available. So you do not have to go after your friends and family. I'm one of the members of the No Friends and Family Club, the NFL. And so I don't really ever approach anybody that I know, not my friends, not my neighbors, not my family, about any opportunity I get into. I go automatically to the cold market. It is an infinite market. It's a cold market. I mean, a lot of you have some great spheres of influence. I'm going to see if we might be able to find Johnny down in Arizona. Johnny, are you there?
Yes, Carl, I'm here.
Let me share a little bit that I know. Johnny is taking a close look at this. He's already got some people lined up that he's ready to bring in. He hasn't made the decision to pull the trigger yet, but I think we're getting pretty close. But Johnny's a specialist in bringing in warm market people, and I'm a specialist in bringing in cold market people. So you're going to have a lot of great voices on these calls to share with you what's going to be working into the future. But Johnny, tell us a little bit about what makes you think that this might be a good home for you with you and your people and some of the people that you care about that you want to bring into a good opportunity. What are you looking for?
Well, first of all, I don't have much energy because I've just had 2 major operations, so you're not hearing the real voice. But I've been in this business and industry and cash leveraging for 30 plus years, and I received one of your texts on my cell phone a few weeks ago, and I went ahead and fluffed it off, and then I had several people that also got the same text. They called me up on the phone and they was all excited about everything, so I decided to go ahead and double check. And I'll be darned if it wasn't Carl yourself that came on the line. And after I quizzed you for about a half hour and asked you 100 questions, it seemed like, I knew right then that you were the person that I wanted to work with. because number one, I could hear you. I'm hard of hearing. I wear 2 hearing aids. And number two, I heard and I read people like a book, and I knew that you were very successful, very professional, but you was also honest and sincere, and that you would help the people. Now, I'm involved in some other deals and opportunities, and this is not MLM, multi-level marketing, or nor is it gifting. But so I was so impressed how you have the automated system already set up. So most people that do not know how to sell or do not know how to talk or promote or may even have handicaps like I do right now myself can plug this in and get on board and have everything flow through the funnel and have money by the happy trucks, we call them, when you get those envelopes from FedEx or UPS and you open them up and there's cash. And then I saw all the envelopes that you was opening up throughout the last week or so, and it looks like I've done these type of things before, but I was the only one working it. I didn't have any automation, but I went ahead and still filled the board, and I still cashed out over and over again. But now everybody and anybody could come on board, and it's going to happen a lot faster and a lot quicker. You're going to receive cash quicker and sooner than you thought you would. You're going to be so glad that you don't go through a lot of hoops, a lot of training, and you don't have to be this or be that. But this is just like you say on the text blast.rocks, that anybody can do this, even a blind or a deaf person like myself. But I'm proud to be with you, Carl, and I'm going to be working with you soon, and some of my other business partners will be working with you, and I have a lot more to bring on board because of my list of warm market of people that followed me for over 30 solid years. So I'll turn it back to you. You're doing a great job. I'm super impressed with you and what you have here for everybody else. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Johnny. I really appreciate that. It's really great to hear from all these wonderful new friends from all around the country. Do we have anybody else that might like to share really quickly before I go into a short presentation about how this all works? Anybody else on the line? Say hello. Tell us who you are. Go ahead. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute up the port a little bit here. Presentation called How the Board Works. All right, I thank you so much, and we're going to keep this short and sweet here. We don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really want to share with you the ins and outs of exactly how the board works. Now that you've been in the information process, you've probably heard a short 5-minute call explaining a little bit about the opportunity. We want to talk to you a little bit about exactly what happens once you become a member of the team. So I want you to take out a piece of paper, and at the top of the piece of paper, draw a box. And in that box, write the word senior, or you can put the letters SR, senior. Underneath that box, please draw 2 more boxes, one on the left, one on the right, and write the word junior, or you can put the letters JR in each one. Underneath those 2 JR boxes, draw 4 more boxes, each one of which is a sophomore. You can put the letter S in those boxes. And underneath those 4 boxes, draw 8 more boxes. We're going to keep those empty for now. We're going to call that the freshman row. Now, if you go back to high school or college, you'll remember that everybody who joins the college class or the high school class, you come in as a freshman, right? And you become a sophomore the year later, and then a year later you become a junior, and then finally you graduate as a senior, and usually thousands of dollars in debt. What we're going to show you how to do here is come through this freshman, sophomore, junior, senior class and be thousands of dollars ahead instead of thousands of dollars in debt. Now, in this particular situation, the senior on the board is the person that's being paid by the 8 freshmen that are coming into the 8 boxes in the bottom row. So the S, or the senior at the top, is receiving $2,000 from 8 individuals who are now joining. Now, if you can imagine a vertical line going through the middle of the chart, then you will see how when the 8th freshman, number 8, comes in and fills the board, that board will now split the senior will move on and follow his sponsor onto the next board. The 2 juniors will become seniors on brand new boards. The 4 sophomores will become 2 juniors on the 2 brand new boards, and the 8 freshmen will split into 2 classes of 4 sophomores each. In the bottom row on both charts will appear 8 new boxes. Those are the freshman class of those 2 new boards. That's what you call a board split. It's very much like the way mitosis works, or cells divide. So the same thing goes here. Now the senior will be paid out. He will go on to the next matrix. The 2 juniors become seniors. The 4 sophomores become 2 juniors. The 8 freshmen become 4 sophomores. And 8 freshman spots appear on both boards. And those are brand new empty positions. That's where the new freshmen are coming in, and they pay those new seniors $2,000 each. So the seniors on those 2 charts get $16,000 cash. So that's how the 2x3 matrix works. That's how a senior gets paid, and that's how everybody moves up from one class to the other. Now you can see on any board that there are always 7 people who are actively involved with bringing in new people into the 8 empty positions in the freshman class. We have a senior who's highly motivated because he's getting paid, he or she. We have 2 juniors who are very motivated because they're watching themselves move up into the senior position. And we have 4 sophomores who are gradually and more getting involved with bringing people in so that they can move the position up. So there's always 7 people who are involved with bringing in those 8 individuals into the freshman class. This means that if everybody does just a little bit, then the senior can get paid. The senior can move off the board and follow his sponsor or her sponsor onto the next position. And there's no sponsoring required, which means anybody who joins the activity can and will actually move up to the top senior position eventually and get paid. This is a forced matrix, which means there really is no sponsoring required. Everybody is moving along the same matrix. Now, I'm hoping that you can all hear me because a week ago, my line collapsed at this point, but it appears that we are still on the line. So I want to share with you a little bit about how the boards move. There is such a thing as doing this passively, and there is such a thing as doing this actively. It really depends upon your preference. If you're one of those people who likes to do things anonymously and allow it to happen in the background, that's perfectly okay. If you're one of those people that likes to try and do things to move things along faster, then you will get paid sooner. And that, of course, is to your advantage. It just depends upon what your style is. You're going to find 80% do 20% of the work, 20% do 80% of the work. So you're always going to have a certain group of people who are just hanging out on the board and a certain number of other people who are actually pushing things along. All right, I think we are still connected, so I'm going to keep going. Now, for those people who would like to actually push things along, we have devised some systems that allow you to do this 100% independently, 100% hands-off, and 100% anonymously. What we have found is that there's a large sector of home-based business investors who would just rather get into something, put some money into advertising, let it grow, receive the money that comes back from it, and not have their name, voice, or personality associated with the activity. This is basically what we call anonymous investors. These are people who want to join the opportunity. They're willing to spend the $2,000, and they're willing to spend some money on advertising and on systems in order to keep the thing moving, but they don't want to actually have any hand in the matter. They don't want to have their voice involved. They don't want to have their time involved. They don't want to have their personality involved. They just want to receive the cash coming in from the activity. That's perfectly all right and is perfectly understandable. The main thing about business is you give people what they want. So if that's what they want, then we have devised a system that allows people to get involved, spend a little bit of money on marketing, spend a little bit of money on advertising, and in so doing, they are now making money. Okay, I think we are still connected. I just got an inbound call, which I sent to voicemail, and I believe we are still connected. I got 24 minutes on the clock, and I believe we are still being connected. So I'm going to go a little bit further here. Let's talk about the price points on what would be involved if somebody wanted to get involved and have a little bit of money, push the people in, fill the spaces below them, move them up to the point that they get to the senior position. Remember, you get $16,000 once you reach the senior position. So it is the position that you want to get to. So we have 3 different things that you want to think about. One is called the service pack. The service pack is a $500 price point. It involves the website, the hotline, and the call center. Once you have that, for 1 year, for $500, you have a hotline that is directed to your phone number. You have a website that has your connecting points on it, and you have a call center that is willing to take those calls for you and close those calls in. Now, for $500 for 1 year, you get all 3 things. You get the call center, the hotline, and the website. Normally, if you were to buy a website for a year, it'd be at least $500. But in this case, you get a hotline to go with it, and you get a call center. This is a group of highly trained, very successful telephone professionals who cannot be a part of the opportunity, but who are excellent at closing new people into the opportunity. When they see an inbound call coming in off of your hotline, they are able to see that that is your prospect. They're able to close that person into the business, and then at the end of the call, give that person the precise address where they need to send the money in order to get started on the board where you are currently. Now, the boards change constantly because this is a dynamic opportunity. So every time somebody sends some money in, that tracking number is chronologically connected to that board moving forward. So people who say, well, I want to see what the board looks like right now, it might look one way right now. It might look 30 minutes from now slightly differently. So we want to make sure you understand it's really only relevant once you send in your tracking number as to where you are on the board. Now, the beautiful thing about the call center is these people cannot and are not involved in the opportunity. They are completely 100% unbiased about how and why a person would join the opportunity. Their sole job is to do the best job possible at closing in the sale and converting that into a tracking number, which means $2,000 is coming your way. All right, so the call center, the hotline, and the website are $500, good for a year. We find that very reasonable. It's divided up into 3 different vendors. It has to be sent in as one payment unless you join within 24 hours of speaking to a representative. If you speak to a representative and you decide to join our opportunity within 24 hours of speaking to somebody, you have the right to claim, I get a free service pack because I gave you my tracking number within 24 hours of us speaking. So that's a good thing. For the new people coming in, you will get the free $500 service pack. Now, who's going to pay for the service pack? That's going to come out of the person who's receiving the $2,000. So somebody needs to pay for the service pack. So either it's you, the brand new person who comes in right away, your sponsor is going to pay for your service pack, or if you spend more than 24 hours mulling this over, and that means more than 24 hours from the time you hear about it to the time you move on it and give us a tracking number, then you will have to pay your own service pack. $500 is a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things in terms of what business tools you need to expand something. Now, if that wasn't enough, we also have two more things that come right behind the service pack. We have a $500 texting program, which allows your text to go out to 12,500 networkers with your hotline, your website in it, and that's going to drive a ton of traffic into your pipeline, which is going to fill your matrix with brand new people. We also have a $1,000 voicemail pack, which includes 100,000 voicemail drops. This means that a 2.5-minute ringless voicemail will be delivered to 100,000 voicemail recipients, all of whom will be serious networkers who are likely to either be in business, be looking to get into a business, or looking to add a business. Excellent prospects. Proof is in the pudding. Every single person on this call came from those broadcasts. I have never approached a friend or family about this opportunity. I have only broadcast and let the people who are interested come to me. It's just my style. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I am a member of the NFL, which means no friends and family left, which means I simply don't talk to friends and family about any opportunity, no matter how good it is. I much prefer to broadcast it to the masses, make incredible success, and then circle back and tell a few people, hey, by the way, remember that thing I told you that I thought could make us a lot of money? Well, it's making me a lot of money. Are you sure you don't want to take a look? And at that point, they all come in. So once you learn how to work the warm market, you don't bark up the wrong tree. You just simply let the music do the talking, and then when the time is right, they will come in. All right, I'm at 31 minutes. I believe the line is still live, so I'm going to go a little bit further into a couple more points. I had an incredible brand new member send me some great questions, and I thought it would be useful because I imagine that a lot of people have the same questions so that we can go through that Q&A. We are going to turn this into a live call, which it is right now, and then we are also going to turn this into recorded bite-sized bits that you can three-way your prospects into. So first question, do I have to approach friends and family? Well, we kind of went through that right now. No, in fact, we recommend you wait until you've cycled before you bring it up with any acquaintances. We use bulk marketing methods, including text blasting and ringless voicemail blasting, to find new people. It's inexpensive, fast, efficient. It's an incredible way that you can find motivated, money qualified, and people who are ready to get started right away. Number two, do I have to talk to people on the phone? No, you do not. We have a call center that will take all your calls, inbound calls, handle questions, explain everything, close the deal, inform your prospects where to send the money, and text you the tracking number for your inbound package. Who is administering this? Over 5 years ago, a team of private individuals pitched in to create a website, hotline, call center, and graphic system to keep track of all the boards in the organization. None of our members can be vendors, and none of our vendors can be members. So the activity is completely and totally isolated from any type of manipulation. It's sustained by the donations of members to the annual admin fee of $500, which we call the service pack, and that $500 is distributed between 3 different vendors: the call center, which is a Georgia-based company, the graphics department, which is out of South Korea, and they frankly don't even speak English, so they have no idea what's going on except they run the Matrix, and then finally the hotline, which is a company that's very well known here in the U.S. Now, you might ask yourself, is this something that I could say I could bring to my Chamber of Commerce? Okay. Well, this is a cash leveraging opportunity. This is a different animal. This is not something that you're going to find in any Chamber of Commerce. But there is no requirement to bring others in to get paid. So this is not a pyramid scheme. This is a cash leveraging opportunity, allows everyone to join a community of like-minded individuals and benefit by association. They say that your income is the average of the 10 people you most closely associate with. So what we're suggesting is when you associate with people who are making a lot of money and understand how to make a lot of money, that's a good thing for you. And it would be something that you would want to continue doing. Are there other ways other than cash to transfer the money from freshman to senior? Yes, of course there are. It depends on the senior. It's a lot like, any type of business opportunity where you have to decide what's good for the receiver, what's good for the sender. Some receivers accept Bitcoin, cashier's checks, money orders, wire transfers, Walmart cash, direct bank deposit. And there's a bunch of other online payment systems. I'm not going to go into them, but you just work it out between the sender and the receiver. What are all the costs involved? Let's say you get involved, right? And then nobody wants to have hidden expenses. Well, the first thing is there are 0 hidden expenses. Once you're a member of this opportunity, you're a member for life. There's no quotas. There's no deadline. You will end up cycling and making your money. So the thing is, it's all up to you as to what you want to spend in order to push the board. Push the board is sort of a colloquialism that we use to say promote the opportunity. That's entirely up to you. But again, we went through it. You get the $500 service pack, which includes a hotline, domain name, website, call center, and board updates. Then you have a $500 text blast, which sends out a message to 12,500 people. That usually gets about a 5 or 6 person sign up. You have a 100,000 voice blast, which sends out a message to 100,000 people, usually gets a 10 to 12 person sign up. And then if you want, and this is entirely voluntary, but it's a good idea, you get a $25 a month UPS store mailbox so that somebody's there to sign your packages every day, because those packages will be coming in. And if you happen to not be home when the FedEx man rolls around, the happy truck as we like to call him, then, he has to either come back or you have to go and track it down. So it's just a good idea to get a UPS store mailbox so that you can handle those things. Now, I want to thank all of you for being on the call. I know that this has been a little bit of a half-dash call, but we're here. We want to help you. We want to make this work for each and every one of you. We appreciate all of you for being part of the team. We know this is just the beginning. It's about to become absolutely huge, and there's a lot of great people on the line right now who are going to make sure that that happens. So I want to thank all of you for being on the call. Anyone that I didn't get a chance to call out to and hear from, we'll have to bring you on the next call, and we're expecting to do that either on Thursday night or Sunday night. We don't want to make this a regular thing. We want to do this on an ad hoc basis based on demand, and that we want to make sure that the people who are on the call are going to actually be there for a good reason. Last time we blasted the message out to so many people jumped on that it was just chaos. So we're going to try and do this a little bit better. It's a very popular program right now. Everybody's looking to do something. The economy is going great. Everyone's looking to find a way to multiply their money. And I want to invite all of you to take a close look at this. You really cannot go wrong. You want to put $2,000 together. You want to contact the person who put you on this call tonight, and you want to call them up and say, hey, I'm ready. Put me in touch with whoever I need to send my money to, and let's get started.